In a letter to campaigners, word broke today, the University of Sussex Hospitals, which is an NHS trust, said that the milk produced by trans women after taking a combination of drugs is, quote, comparable to that produced following the birth of a baby, end quote. Have we really reached a point of such denial that there are great differences between men and women that we are now telling people from some medical experts, you know how much I love experts, that if you just take a cocktail of drugs, men can lactate. And that milk is comparable to what any woman who's ever breastfed, and even those who haven't, will tell you is miracle liquid. If you do any research on breast milk, this stuff is incredible. 1 teaspoon of breast milk has 3 million germ-killing cells in it. I guarantee if you want to do the same research on whatever these trans women are lactating, you are not going to find half the vitamins, half the minerals, half the protein. This stuff is incredible. Your baby has a nappy rash. You get some breast milk. That rash is gone. Like, it is like God's opus. What do you call that thing?
I don't know, but the fact they...
Magnum opus! You haven't watched the Robbie Williams movie? How could you not?
I'm rushing home to watch the Robbie Williams movie tonight.
The fact they compare trans milk to the real thing betrays the truth of the whole farce. I mean, what are we going to have next? They already, chant trans women are women. Now it's going to be trans milk is milk. The chemicals that are required to get a biological male to lactate clearly are not something that should be ingested by an infant. And the irony is that we tell pregnant women, be very careful what you eat and what you drink because you've got to consider the welfare of the baby.
Yep.
But now the NHS are going to completely ignore all of that in their rush to help men who want to feel like mummies feel like mums. It's outrageous that they're doing this. Listen to this. This is a link quoted on the NHS website where they actually say, and this is their ideology, we support everyone who wants to breastfeed or chest feed in reaching their goals. Now, notice that because the emphasis here is on helping biological men achieve their goal of feeling like a woman, not on ensuring the welfare of babies. It continues on, we do not discriminate based on sex, gender or gender identity when it comes to providing advice on breast milk. So the only way to read that is that the NHS have decided babies exist for no greater purpose than to affirm the gender ideations of biological men.
And this particular NHS trust was the first in the UK that adopted this language of chest feeding. In fact, when they brought it out in 2021, they said it was the first clinical and language guidelines supporting trans and non-binary birthing people, because of course we don't talk about women anymore. You're quite right, though. I forget which one of you made the point now, but
if it was good, it was probably
you, Liz.
Yeah.
But the women are made to feel. Women, I can't believe I just said that. Are made to feel so guilty for everything they do as mothers because of the effect it might have on a child. You have one glass of wine and someone tells you that you're some sort of devil and it's going to kill your kid, etc., etc. And so you get demonised for that. You can't win. And then we say, but it's totally fine for someone else over here, a man, to take a cocktail of drugs so he can supposedly lactate. And that is just as good for a child. Try and make it make sense. It doesn't. Sam Kekovich once said, it makes sense. Well, bloody hell, it doesn't.
It is just downright child abuse. I don't see how anyone can spin this any other way. You're supposed to be putting the child's need first, the baby's needs first. That is simply not happening. Here's a video we got to show you by a woman called Riley Gaines. She's from the States. She's done a lot in this space, even spoken to several different Congress for starters, but has spoken to several different sessions that have convened around this very issue and others, whether it's women having to change in locker rooms with biological men. She herself is an elite athlete. She had a few things to say about this very topic just a month back.
Okay, so I came across this picture yesterday on Twitter, which is very clearly a man who is claiming the identity of a woman and breastfeeding a child. After seeing that picture, I very quickly took to my Twitter to call that what it is, which is sexual abuse of a child. But I didn't realize to what degree until I saw this. In the following photos, you will see the same man who was breastfeeding the child actively using nipple clamps to fulfill his sexual fetish. So I guess what I'm wondering is, how can any sane human being see this man posing with this child, obviously sucking on his nipple, now seeing what he engages in privately, and not see this baby as an erotic prop for this man with a sick fetish?
My question to any sane person is, how on earth can you disagree with that? I mean, obviously, no one is suggesting that that is every trans woman, but that is one instance that was brought to light some months ago in the States. And it just speaks to the fact that these things are not natural. People need to do their homework. And more than anything, I just care about the kid who is being malnourished while some guy gets his jollies.
There's a story about King Solomon who's faced with two women, both claiming parentage of one baby. And so Solomon says, well, we'll cut the baby in two and we'll give you half each. And immediately one of the women says, I relinquish any rights to the child. My rival can have it. And Solomon says, aha, you are the mother, because a mother would always put the welfare of the baby first. That's what mothers do. And quite clearly, these men are not mothers by that definition.
And can you imagine
any definition.
so many mothers who want to breastfeed but can't,
Yeah.
and would look at this and just go, seriously? Like, I'm denied that opportunity, but a biological male can take a cocktail of drugs and do it.